I am Robin, English teacher with Core Languages, and today I'm standing under a beautiful live oak tree. The tree is covered with this stuff. I'm going to tell you something about this stuff, and I want you to listen carefully to my words and see if you can identify a word that I use more often than other words. Are you ready? This is Spanish moss. People used to use Spanish moss to fill their pillows and mattresses to sleep on. It wasn't very comfortable, but people got used to it. We don't use Spanish moss anymore. We now use different things to fill our mattresses and pillows. Did you hear what word I used a lot? It was the word use. The word use has many uses, but we need to know how to use the word use. We can use something, we can get used to something, or we used to do something. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the word use, so the next time someone asks you, "What did you used to do?" you can formulate a perfect English sentence.
Used to, get used to, and be used to. The construction used to or used to do is used to indicate a repeated or regular action that took place in the past. For example, I used to go to the movies on Friday nights. This sentence indicates that going to the movies on Friday nights was a regular or repeated action. She used to go to the carnival as a child. This sentence indicates that going to the carnival as a child was a regular and repeated action. When forming sentences with used to do, we need to pay attention to the word order. For example, when we make statements, the word order is subject, used to, and the verb. For example, we used to go to lots of concerts. We is the subject, go is the verb, and the construction used to indicates that going to lots of concerts was a repeated action. We can also make negative statements with used to. The sentence order is subject, did not used to, and the verb. Notice how the D is removed from use when we use did not use. For example, we did not use to watch much TV. It is not correct to say we did not used to watch much TV. We could also say never used to. Here, the D is added. Subject, never used to, and verb. For example, she never used to eat kale. This sentence indicates that eating kale was not a repeated action in the past. We can also form questions with used to do. The word order is did, subject, used to without the letter D, and the verb. For example, did you use to play football? The verb construction to get used to or to be used to is used to express being or getting accustomed to something. We can get accustomed to a verb or a noun. Being accustomed means to be familiar with something or to know how to do something. For example, I am used to driving on ice and snow. This sentence expresses that I know how to drive on ice and snow. I am already accustomed. I'm getting used to driving on ice and snow. This sentence expresses that I am becoming accustomed, or I'm learning to drive on ice and snow. I got used to hot weather in the South. This sentence expresses that I became accustomed to hot weather in the South. I am now used to hot weather in the South. I was used to hot weather. This sentence expresses that in the past, I was accustomed to hot weather. Whether we use used to for a repeated action or becoming accustomed, we can form negative sentences. For example, I can say, he did not use to exercise much when he was younger. This sentence expresses that exercising was not a repeated action in the past. You never used to play video games. This sentence expresses that playing video games was not a repeated action in the past. I am not getting used to working on weekends. This sentence expresses that working on weekends is not something I have become accustomed to. I am not getting is the same verb construction in the present continuous. They are not used to cooking much at home. This sentence expresses that cooking at home is not something that they are accustomed to or familiar with. Here are examples of how to form questions with the verb construction used to. For example, did you used to play professional sports? This question asks whether playing professional sports was a repeated action in the past. Notice how the verb use does not end on the letter D because we started the question with did. Didn't you used to hang out with him? This question asks whether hanging out with him was a repeated action in the past. Again, notice how the verb use does not end on the letter D because we started the question with didn't. Did she get used to having a horse? This question asks whether having a horse is something that she has become accustomed to. In this construction, we keep the D for used because it is get used. Weren't they used to working together? This question asks whether working together is something that they were accustomed to in the past. Here are examples with the verb construction to get used to. She is used to working from home. This sentence, unchanged, would express that she is accustomed to working from home. I could also say, she is getting used to working from home. This sentence would express that she is becoming accustomed to working from home. He used to running every morning. This sentence alone does not make sense, but we could say, he got used to running every morning. This sentence expresses that he has become accustomed to running every morning. Look at this sentence and try to choose the correct verb construction. They used to travel the world, or they use travel the world. Excellent. They used to travel the world. This sentence expresses that traveling the world was a repeated action in the past. And how about this sentence? I didn't used to read, but now I do every evening. Or I never used to read, but now I do every evening. Excellent. I never used to read, but now I do every evening. This sentence expresses that reading was not a repeated action in the past, but now it is.
Thank you for watching. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to use the word use. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to comment, or if you're interested in joining one of our courses with a live instructor, feel free to message us directly. I look forward to seeing you in our next class.